Hey, welcome back. This is Jim Rivers for Sonic Academy. And in this video we're going to continue to look at some of the arrangement parts and start to look at how we get to the point of finishing a track off in terms of maybe some of the detail in the mixing and stuff like that. So we're getting there now. I hope you've enjoyed the video so far, so let's carry on. The last one we looked at the this whole arrangement section here in the lead up to the break. And then we get to this kind of breakdown point where often I've found when I was much earlier on in writing music, I used to find breakdowns really hard work. Again, it depends on the type of track you're going for. If you're going for something that there's a real impact and a big build-up moment and stuff, that kind of lends itself to a certain way. This track is a little bit smoother and subtler, and it doesn't, for me, it doesn't really suit having a massive breakdown and a big build-up. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. So you can see I've got some different sections here in the bass and various bits. So let's just have a little listen. So you can hear this section here, as it comes in off of the main parts here, the bass line changes from being the note that we've heard so far, that part, into just a single note that is still with the sidechain compression on it. Don't forget we've got the ghost kick, which is this one here, playing the entire section of the track, and this is a prime example where you need to make sure it's in, because my main kick drum was out, but my ghost kick drum is still affecting the bass part here. And you can the kind of the compression sounds a bit more obvious now because it's just a single note and you've got that sucking, throbbing sound. But the thing I like about this, the idea behind this, was to break it down to the one note, and what it does is it builds a little bit of anticipation. It's kind of like brooding almost, if you like, and it kind of sounds like something's coming. So as you go through this section, it's going what. You know that something's happening. Some of the other sounds, if I go into the automation, I'm pretty sure, yeah, some of the other sounds are changing. So the bright synth, the filter frequency is dropping down, and also on the other part you can see that the high cut frequency on that is all filtering down as well. So again, it's coming to a point. Now the point that it comes to is another part of the bass line here, which there we go. You can see here there's a difference. If you just notice, we've got the more sustained parts of the bass line here, and then I've gone for a bit more of a choppy section here, which sounds like this. So it gives a complete different feel. So even though this is a breakdown of parts, there's only this section from 129 to 145 where the kick drum isn't in. But I still class this whole section from 129 to 127 as like a breakdown, breathe section, I guess. You know, where, say for example, one of the main parts, which is this pad here, is completely out of the track. And this Angelic-y pad thing is all filtered almost completely out, but I think it rises up again. So we've got this different thing. We've gone from our main smooth bass line and smooth sound into this kind of throbby, broody section here. And then we've come into this part here where the bass line is chopped up. And as you can hear underneath, the Angelic pad is starting to fade up, as this is the bass as well. You can see the bass line part is leading to something. The Angelic pad is fading up. So again, it's leading to that point where something's going to happen. And I'm just bringing in little percussion parts as well. So this isn't about a massive drop of everything coming in. To be honest, I'm not a massive fan of that anyway. And you can also see here how the kick drum is high cutting out as well. Let's just move that little error in the automation. So it's all leading up to something. And again, it all does come back to the vibe that you're going for a track. So if I was closing my eyes and thinking about playing this, if I was DJing, to me this has got like, I don't know, summer terrace or kind of outside party or early on in the night deeper vibe to it. And it's about setting the scene, setting the mood, catching the groove of the people that are there. So it doesn't need to have those massive impact moments. You know, there's other records that will suit that. And that's what you can kind of see with the automation here. That I mean, this bit of automation here is pointless really because it's all muted. But that's probably where I was experimenting with having it. But the whole point is it's kind of teasing, so it comes in, it comes out. Even the pad, the angelic pads here, as they build up, they then drop down again and build up again. So there's always that progression of sound and kind of teasing sounds in and out. Again, in a kind of a subtle way. That suits the type of the track. And also you can see the bass part as well. Up it goes, and then it comes back down to this point where I think it sounds the nicest, and it's all very subtle stuff. Now, I don't know how long, I can't remember how long the stabby bass lasts for. Let's have a look. So you hear the dynamic change there. Both different parts. I mean, the stabby bass is maybe a little bit more, I don't know, a bit more groovy in some respects and choppy. But when that smoother one comes back in, it kind of changes the feel. It's a nice dynamic between this section and this section. And I remember when I was arranging this part, it took me a while to get the stabby part of the bass here, this section, to fit with the original sustained bass part. And in the end it was to do with kind of what elements of the drums came in and out. So with the stabby bass you've got these nice hats and cymbals and stuff, and it made sense to kind of drop some of those out when I brought this other section in, so that, you know, things are changing, the intensity changes just a little bit, and it goes back into that nice smooth kind of deep part, and then that kind of sets the pattern for the rest of the track. And you'll hear right at the end we've still got a very similar approach. But the bass has been taken out. Now sometimes I could have just filtered that out, but for me the reason why the track works with not loads of different parts is because the chord progression is really strong. The bass line with the pad works really well. Now the pad is just one chord that has a bit of effect on it and moves. It's a section that I chopped out. The angelic pad thing that I put over the top here, the effects make it sound like it's doing much more than it is. And really, it's the dynamic of this bass line, the chords of the bass line fitting with the chord of the pad, and it just fits really well together. And for me, I could listen to that loop all day long. So I know that when I get to that point, I get something like that, for me, I'm at a place where the track's going to work, because the core elements sound good. They've got a nice progression, and I sit here in the studio with my eyes closed, enjoying it. So I know that that's a strong part, and I can manipulate it as much as I want. So this isn't a complex track by any stretch of the imagination. It's got, you know, one kind of breakdown section here. It comes in, it drops out, but the whole idea is this kind of smooth, warm feeling, which I've emphasised a lot, and I think it kind of achieves that. So when you're going for your track, it's really important to have your mind focused on exactly what you're trying to achieve. I've gone through so many things where I hear a track or I get an idea when I've heard another DJ play or something, and I come back and I change everything up. It's very easy to have 3 or 4 ideas squeezed into one track, and often that ends up turning into a pile of rubbish, to be quite honest. So try and keep your focus on what you're actually going for. Compare it to tracks that you're listening to that are in that genre or in the style that you want, and you should be able to get an arrangement that suits what you're going for. So that's the last thing we're going to do on arrangement. The next video is going to be looking at some mixing points, some compression stuff I think, and some general kind of detail stuff to some of the sounds. So until then, I've been Jim Rivers, and this is Sonic Academy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.